What's up, guys? It's Atomic. I want you guys to sit back and enjoy some Friday the 13th gameplay. Although it's not going to be great because I really don't care what happens. They can kill me, they can all escape. I don't really care. When I get to be a counselor, you know what? Everyone can, Jason can kill me in 2 seconds, I don't care. The main reason I'm putting up this video is to talk about Terminator Dark Fate, which I just got back from viewing, and, I'm angry about it. I need a release. I need to complain about it, so, that's why I'm making this video. But you know what? It's kind of not worth my time. That's why you don't get a separate video, nothing special. I'm not gonna waste my time making a stupid video about this stupid movie. So instead, it's just Friday the 13th, where I complain about Terminator Dark Fate. So, you guys can let me know, as we caught Adam there. I don't know what he was thinking. But there's going to be spoilers, I'm warning you right now. So, if you don't want any spoilers to this film, that's cool, but you are in the very wrong place, alright? So, I am a huge, well, I still am, but a huge fan of Terminator 2. I think most people who see it are. I mean, how could you not be? To me, it's not just one of the best action films of all time, it's one of the best films of all time. So, initially, I was pretty hyped when they said this movie was coming out, because this was going to be the true sequel. You know, the very true sequel to Terminator 2. We've had other Terminator films, most of them not very good. They all have their good qualities, though. But this was the real sequel to Terminator 2. Well, you know what? And I think people have said this before. Terminator 2 does not need a sequel, alright? It was the perfect story, and it ended perfectly. So, why do we have to have it? Well, we gotta make money, this and that, but a sequel should be made for one of two reasons, right? Either there's more story to tell, or, well, more story to tell. As we choke out Adam here. Sorry, I am getting distracted. I said I wouldn't care. It's just natural.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
As we kill another one, like they have killed the Terminator franchise. So, you know what? Let me just get right into it. The movie itself, before I get to spoilers, is decent, I guess. The only problem is, it's unnecessary. It's basically a rehash of Terminator 2. It's the same concept. That's kind of what all these things are. As we decide what Tiff's gonna do. Oh man, how did she not hit that trap? Oh well, we'll finish her off very quickly here. Oh, they got both batteries here, too. Alright, so the movie itself is okay. It's a standard action film. Nothing in it really blew me away. This new bad Terminator, so to speak. Yeah, it's called a Rev 9, and I guess it's kind of cool. It's basically, think of a combo of a T-800 and the T-1000. As we take care of Tiffany here. It has the metal endoskeleton, but it has that liquid body. So, I mean, the closest thing I would say, think of I believe it was the TX in Terminator 3. But if you've seen, any of the trailers or anything like that, this thing can basically, I guess you would call it, turn itself into another Terminator so that there's actually two of them. As I decide to get Tommy Jarvis as he's putting the battery in.
Help me! Please, anyone!
Oh man, Tommy, but he's wounded, so that's okay.
No, please, no!
You want some more? You like that?
Okay, that's enough of that. I'm just gonna kill him. So, I mean, that was okay. Like I said, it was all kind of standard, though. You know, the big draw of this film was that, yeah, not only was it, it's like...
Fuck you!
You know what? I'm just gonna take care of Jarvis here.
Yes. Kill for mother.
Ah, she had a knife. So I know I said I would talk about Terminator. Here I am getting distracted here playing this stupid game, but honestly, this is better than that stupid movie. That's what this movie made me feel like, just limping around the whole time. So yeah, for a movie, it was okay. Honestly, I would be very curious as to what people think if you've never seen... Well, I mean, everyone has seen Terminator 2. How could you not? But, I don't know, maybe... Oh, there goes her head. If you're not a big fan of the Terminator films, then, you know, I'd love to hear someone's opinion on this thing. But... you know, if you go to see this film, you probably are a fan of the franchise, and most definitely a fan of Terminator 2, as we just can't pull that thing out. So, that's why I am just so baffled by the choices that were made in this film. Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you guys as, counselor. Because I'm so angry, I want to kill this person. What are you doing? I want them to feel my pain. So I know, I'm putting it off long enough. I mean, if you've seen anyone else talk about this film, then you already know what I'm going to say. That's it. I'm ending it. So let's get right to it. All right. You know what? I will wait until the end of the film. Not the end of the film. Let her take the stupid mask off.
Why won't you? Damn it! Just.
That's it. Sorry guys, I had to wait till the end until I could start really complaining about this film. But again, I get sidetracked saying all this stuff live. Bottom line is, I guess it's a decent action film, but if you're going to see this, it's because you were a fan of Terminator 2. And the whole marketing behind it was, this is the true sequel, right? James Cameron is back. He's not writing or directing, but he's involved, he's approving it, he's producing. This is the true sequel, right guys? This is going to be the one. Forget about all these other movies, don't count now. 3... Salvation, Genesis. Nope, they don't count. This is the true sequel. Well, guess what? The true sequel sucks. And it sucks because of one very important detail, something that happened right at the beginning of the film. So, spoiler alert, and I got a feeling if you hear this, then you already know what I'm going to say. But the whole John Connor character, in case you didn't know, he's dead. He gets killed right at the beginning of the film, and there's no other way to say it. It's bullshit. Now, I was prepared for this. I didn't read spoilers beforehand, but I did watch a YouTube video. You know, people that had gone to a test screening, this was a few months ago, leaked it, and, you know, I saw a video about someone talking about it. And it sounded, I was like, would they really kill him off? And then when you started seeing the previews and everything, it's like, yeah, they totally would. And guess what? They did. They killed off John Connor right at the beginning of the film, and I don't understand why. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, what kind of response did they think people would have to seeing this? Terminator 2 is a classic. We spent the whole film invested in John Connor. We wanted him to live. We wanted him to survive. And he did. The perfect ending. And then what happens? Oh, next movie starts, we're just going to kill him just like that. For no purpose other than we can't get him back. And why couldn't you? Why couldn't you get Edward Furlong back? He still does work time and again. What, because he's too, fat and out of shape? Oh, well, he's had drug issues. He still has them. He's got legal issues. It's always bad press. If we brought him on and put him in the spotlight, it would ruin, I don't care. I wanted to see him. Anyway, when I heard about, this leak, reading it and seeing it are two completely different things. When they said, and basically everything that came out of this test screen is exactly what happened in the film. So they didn't change nothing. I thought, you do a test screening, people don't like it, we'll change some things. But no, they didn't. When I basically heard or read, yes, they killed John Connor at the beginning of the film, I just started thinking, okay, but how did they kill them? Or how did they kill him? And maybe it was just false hope in my head. I kind of hoped, okay, fine, you can kill him. This other Terminator came back and kills him. My thought process on it was, well, maybe he dies in an explosion. Something like that. That way, basically, I guess I was kind of hoping that, fine, you can kill him off at the beginning of the film, but it was a fake death. At the end of the movie, he's going to come out of the shadows, and then we're going to learn, come up with any story you want. He knew the Terminators would keep coming back after him, so he reprogrammed this Terminator to pretend to kill him, and then that way, Skynet would stop coming back. But no, that's not. So yeah, I was hoping, boom, he dies in an explosion. Sarah Connor is all distraught, whatever. But
was that real?
He's safe.
This can't be real.
And at the end of the film, he'd show up, make an appearance, and everything would be, fine and dandy. Well, that is not what happened at all. Instead, and I will say my timeline is kind of iffy. I believe. And again, I could be wrong on this, but I believe Terminator 2 was supposed to take place in 1997. I don't know how many months before the original Judgment Day, but I believe it was supposed to take place in 97. I could be wrong, but I thought John Connor was supposed to be about 13 years old. Anyway, that's how the movie starts. A year later, in 1998, another Terminator had been sent back and fucking kills him. And no, it was not an explosion or anything. It was a shotgun right to the chest, and then presumably a shotgun right to the face. And yeah, this motherfucker's dead, and he ain't coming back. What were they thinking? I just don't get it. Why would you kill him off like that? And it's not like it hasn't been done before either. We have seen, in Terminator 3, we learn that he does die in the future. And the same thing in Terminator Genesis. They end up killing him later on. But, all of that, it didn't take away from what originally happened in T2, where this does. Here, like I said, we were invested the whole film in him, and it's like, for what? Because he dies, a year later. Fucking pathetic. I am just so angry about it. And I guess I shouldn't be, but it's my love of Terminator 2 that makes me so angry, and I really hope if, you know, someone out there is listening to this, you can try, please, just justify it to me. Tell me why this was a good idea. Why was it necessary? I don't think you're going to be able to convince me. It puts you in, especially, like I said, most of the people who are going to see this film are fans of Terminator 2. So why would you just piss off your audience like that? I've only read, or I guess you could say watched, one review since I got back from the theater, and that dude said the same thing. You know, it pissed him off, and it puts you in a bad mood for the rest of the film, to where it's like, well, who cares? You know? And we've seen everything else before. Oh, someone else is the new savior of humanity, and now we have to protect them. You know what? I don't care. You just killed off the savior of humanity, so it's just going to happen again, right? Who cares? But in case you're wondering about the plot, yeah, this Terminator, he kills John Connor, and this is where it starts to get absurd, I guess. But they needed a reason to continue to have Arnold in the film. And I mean, technically, I guess it's okay because, you know, the film's never really explored, well, what happens when a Terminator completes its mission. You know, we have never really seen that before, but you know what? We really don't want to. Not in this way. So basically, the Terminator completed his mission, but he has no other orders. So he just kind of hangs out and chills, and eventually he decides to start a family, and, you know, I don't even know what the fuck he was doing. Starting a drape business or something? I have no clue, and I don't care. And, I mean, I guess you should say, I mean, not... You know, there was a point to Terminator 2. Judgment Day was averted. You know, it's no longer Skynet that's in control. It's this new AI system called Legion. But who cares? It's still Skynet. It's the same thing. It's, well, nope, there's still going to be man versus machine in the future. So it doesn't even really matter. But I just can't get over it, guys. The fact that, you know, you're going to kill off basically the hero of the film. You know, you could argue Arnold was the hero in T2, or even Sarah was the hero, not John. But John was who we were invested in, and for them to just kill the dude off like that. And, you know, I'm kind of big into canon and everything, and yeah, this is official. John Connor was dead. You know, to me, it just seems to make T2 worthless. It's like, no, for me, you know, the story will always end at Terminator 2, but I just hate having this thing out there, you know, tainting the legacy. Yeah, I know this rant has kind of gone all over the place, but like I said, I usually don't get that angry at films, you know. I see something, I like it, I don't. You know, the closest thing I could compare this to is Star Wars, The Last Jedi, but I'm nowhere near as big of a fan of Star Wars as I was, or am, Terminator. At least Terminator 2. Would you just get the hell out of here? Drive us out of here so I can talk more? But, yeah, you know, in Star Wars, you know, imagine if The Last Jedi, well, I mean, this might make it better for some people, but if they just killed off Luke right at the beginning of the film, I thought it was bad enough what they did with him at the end, but to do it at the beginning, so if you guys have seen this thing, let me know, are you a fan of Terminator 2? Are you a fan of the franchise? And what do you think about what they did to John Connor here? I just, you know, I mean, obviously I think it was done because they either couldn't get Edward Furlong back, or they didn't want him back because of everything that might have brought with it.
It actually worked.
But why take the story in this direction? I don't, I mean, I'm at a loss for words, guys. I really am. I'm just so ticked off about this that, I mean, I'm not, raging or anything, but it's just the ultimate disappointment. And to have that disappointment at the beginning of the film, like I said, I could have accepted it if he wasn't in the film. If he would have died in an explosion, and then at the end he pops his head up to say, "Oh, I'm not really dead, Mom. The Terminator, he faked my death. Whatever." But to do this, it's just terrible. I will say the de-aging CGI did look pretty good. But that's about the only good thing I could say about that. And I'm sorry I'm not talking about, more of the film. But, it's just, like I said, something like that takes you out of it. And at least I went in prepared, knowing, okay, this is probably going to happen. But like I said, seeing is believing. And actually seeing it unfold like that, it's disappointing, but then the film that followed, was nothing special. I didn't really see anything new. There was a lot of, you could call them, I'm sure they would say, an homage to either T2 or other things in the Terminator films, but I didn't see it as a homage. I didn't really see it as a ripoff either. I mean, I said, oh, that's kind of like it was in T2 with this Rev 9, hanging off the back of the car with his, metal knife arms, but it was just... No, it didn't invoke that feeling of, oh yeah, usually when you see a nice homage, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that from that. I mean, maybe I'm just too big of a T2 fan to even care, but yeah, this film, I really can't say it did anything new. Most of the cool action sequences you saw in the trailers, I'm pretty sure, now all I saw the 2 trailers and that little featurette that they released, and I will say I thought the first trailer was underwhelming. The second was just kind of but that featurette where they had the director Tim and Cameron, they were talking about, that got me a little more hyped and excited for the film. But yeah, it's just a giant disappointment. If you guys can convince me otherwise, please do so, but I don't see how you can be a fan of T2 and not be disappointed by this. I really don't. I would, by the way, just a little side note here. Before I saw Star Wars The Last Jedi, I watched one video review. That was it. I didn't read any reviews, and I watched one video review, and it was from IGN. And they said it was the best Star Wars film since Empire Strikes Back. Well, you know what? They were friggin' wrong. But I didn't learn my lesson. I watched one video review before I saw Terminator Dark Fate. And what did I watch? The IGN review. And guess what they said? They said it was the best Terminator film since Terminator 2. And I disagree. And there's not even that much competition there. I mean, T3 was a big disappointment. I remember being disappointed there because there was no Linda Hamilton. Salvation kind of a good standalone film, but then even Genesis, while I was ultimately disappointed, I really liked the first half of the film, whether they did their alternate timeline thing. But I'm sorry, Dark Fate is not the best Terminator film since T2, and there's, like I said, the competition ain't even that high, but I think upon initial viewing, I preferred Genesis to Dark Fate. I can't get over it. I'm sorry. It's just too much. So I'll probably stick around and play one game here where I just continue to complain and see what else I missed or didn't talk about. But, I thought the special effects were fine. But like I said, I didn't care about the new characters. You know, the main character's name is Danny, and I just didn't really care about her that much because I just saw my favorite, you know, not even my favorite character, but I just saw the character that I had been invested in die. You know, I don't even know. They couldn't structure the film, like, if they would have done it somehow where, you know, you saw flashbacks and, you know, over time you learned that John Connor had been killed. I don't think that would have helped. In fact, maybe it was better to get it out of the way right at the start. But I guess that's kind of the whole point is, oh, did we get it out of the way at the beginning? Did we kind of weave in flashbacks throughout the film? How about you don't fucking do it? You know, that could have been good. I think, you know, it would have been disappointing if the film was just like, you know, didn't even mention him, or just, you know, if Sarah was in the film and she said, well, John's in hiding, he, you know, he's too afraid to come out, whatever. Yeah, that would have been disappointing, but I would have preferred that to what we got here. Again, I said Terminator 3, I was disappointed because, you know, they gave Linda Hamilton, or Sarah Connor, an off-screen death. She wasn't in the film, and, oh, she died of cancer, yeah. Remember, she smoked, so she died of cancer. But this, to see it like that, it just, it feels cheap. It feels like, you know, they just, so this movie was, like, what's the point? Oh. Oh boy, this one's gonna stick with me for a while. But if you guys, like I said, if you guys want to justify it to me, if you have seen the film, or if you've just come across other spoiler videos, like I said, it would be cool to know what a non-fan thinks of it. Although I will say, you know, it would be kind of hard to get into this film if you've never seen a Terminator film before. That's just my opinion. But if you were just a casual Terminator fan, maybe, you know, you would think, yeah, it's okay. But no, not me. I'm not okay with this. I don't like it. And this is the end. Stop making these films. And I guess I should say, technically, I wouldn't necessarily say there was sequel bait, but they could clearly go on if they wanted to. I hope they don't, because
This can't be
I don't care. I don't care. Jason's up here. I don't care. I'm going to let him kill me. Yeah, I don't care. Even seeing Linda Hamilton back, that's great, but what made her great was her love for her son and willing to do anything to protect her son. And I don't know, I almost didn't even buy her motivations in this film. I mean, I guess it's revenge. And I guess I didn't mention this either. Not that you even care anymore, but, you know, the whole point of the film is, so that Terminator killed John right at the beginning, and then he has no purpose anymore. So eventually he starts, apparently there's some kind of temporal shift. I don't know what the hell it is, but before a Terminator comes back through time, you can tell that one is about to arrive. So this Terminator, this T-800 that killed John Connor, is now sending text messages to Sarah Connor saying, hey, there's going to be a Terminator at this location at this specific time. And so Sarah is just going out there to kill all these Terminators. I don't know. I think as fragile as Sarah Connor was, John Connor being killed, she probably would have just killed herself. I mean, no, that's not very nice to say, but yeah, that's what I think would have happened. You know, it's just, like I said, I don't understand why they had to do it. I know they had to do it because, yeah, they either couldn't or didn't want Edward Furlong back. And, yeah. Let's see. I don't know if this guy is still out here or not. You know, Jason is kind of like a Terminator, but I can't even compare it. Let's say they had a new Friday the 13th film, and, you know, I don't know, some new killer killed Jason right at the beginning, and now they said, aha, this is the guy you're going to be afraid of now. I would say, fuck you. You know? Imagine that. Imagine that a new not a new Terminator. Imagine a new Friday the 13th film finally comes out, and right at the beginning of the film, some new monster man kills Jason, and they say, aha, see, now, you know, you thought Jason was, you know, really bad. What about this guy? This guy is the true killer. This guy is really unstoppable. We would all say, fuck you. And that's what this movie said. This movie said, yeah, we're going to kill John Connor, and now, you know, he's really nothing. This is the guy you should care about. No, or I should say, this is the girl you should care about. No, fuck her. I mean, she was fine. I liked her performance and everything. But, I mean, all the performances in the film I thought were fine. I guess, you know, by the way, this chick that comes back from the future to protect this girl, Danny, her name's Grace. And she's not a Terminator. She's just an augmented human. But, let's let this stupid guy grab me. Oh man, I didn't even get it in.
Oh, God!
That stupid Deborah should have been here.
You want some more?
This guy's gonna nail me with his shift. But that's okay, then I could talk as I look at the end screen. Well, that is not a very good shift by that guy. But, yeah, like I said, when, you know, you kill off... I know, I should just shut up and just end this video now, but like I said, this is my therapy, guys. I need this release. Nice bear trap, dickhead. Yeah, sorry, I'm still angry about this. But this is my therapy, my little release to, it's just so bad. It's, I just can't put my, mind around it all. I just, you know, it's not what I wanted, you know. I think, like I said, that's why I'm making these Star Wars comparisons, because, you know, that movie was not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. When you say the true sequel to Terminator 2, I want Sarah and John Connor. And yeah, I know any film would probably be the same. Oh, it's just more, you know, a Terminator coming back from the coming from the future again to kill the future savior of humanity. Yeah, it's played off. Like I said, the bottom line is Terminator 2 never needed a sequel. But if you're going to give us a sequel, you got to give us one better than this. And they just, they failed. They failed very, very poorly. It's just, an ultimate disappointment, guys. That's all I can say. I want to end this video now, so let me go find Jason. No, I don't really think that there's really nothing else that I can say about the film. I just, is Arnold, I thought Arnold was funnier, or at least his lines were funnier in Genesis as well. They kind of made fun of the whole age thing. They didn't really do it to a degree here. They just basically, but he was kind of comedy. But again, I think that's the problem. You know, a Terminator, I don't know, isn't supposed to be that funny. The humor in T2 from him, I thought, was still top notch, you know, a lot better than Genesis and a whole lot better than this. You know, it was cool to see Linda Hamilton back, but honestly, the film doesn't need her. I mean, like I said, we don't need to make this film, period, but, you know, I almost would have preferred that they did that, you know, just, obviously the film needs her to draw people in, because while Linda Hamilton is not some big star, she's enough of a name in the Terminator universe to say, yeah, I want to see Sarah Connor back kicking ass, and she does kick some ass. I mean, I will say when the film first started, I kind of liked the action sequences between the Terminator and this Grace character. Then I started to say, okay, this is a little bit, you know, too much flippy shit. But, you know, overall, yeah, it was fine. And like I said, overall, it could be a fine film. It's just, you know, get in here, Mitch. We're gonna die. Ah, shit, I gotta get out there and protect his ass. Alright, this will be our end right here. Alright, finally, thank God. So, that's all, guys. That's all I have to say. I can finally end this ranting and raving. And yeah, just tell me what you think about John Connor, because I think it fucking sucks. Alright, if you put up with me through all of this, even if you didn't, but just skipped ahead to the end, thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video.